Hi there, my name is Fraser, founder of Analytics Cafe, where you can learn analytics in videos short enough to be watched with your morning coffee. Today we're going to be talking about something that's often overlooked when solving analytical problems, the analytics process. Far too often, I've been guilty of jumping into the data without a clear sense of direction. I spend far too much time messing around doing data exploration and not enough time actually solving analytics problems. Or alternatively, I'll do an entire analysis only to discover at the end that it really wasn't solving the core problem. A few years ago, a mentor taught me a set of steps to follow in order to make sure I'm focused on actually solving problems. Since then, I've modified the process into something that works for me, and I'd like to share it with you. So, who should watch these videos? Everyone that works with data. If you've ever faced a problem where you have to make a decision based on data, this process will step you through how to do that. Now, obviously, this is geared towards sales and marketing professionals with examples that are relevant to them. But I've taught this process to everyone from business users to executives to data scientists. And with every group, there's been at least something that they could take away. So, without further ado, here is our analytics process. I've phrased it in terms of 5 steps: problem, question generation, plan, analysis, and recommend. Each step, except for the analysis step, has a key question that we need to answer before we move on to the next. Something I want to point out here, the actual analysis is the second to last step. I know it can be tempting to jump right into the data, and if you're a geek like me, you're probably excited to do it, and that's okay. Or maybe this is super painful for you and you just want to get it over with, and that's okay too. Either way, I understand the temptation. But please listen when I say that if you jump into the analysis right away, you're going to end up spending more time than if you had just set up the problem properly beforehand. So, confused? Don't believe me? Let's start with a problem and I'll show you what I mean. Now, this might seem obvious to most, but it's important not to skip this step. We should start out by stating the problem we're looking to solve, and this is harder than it looks. So first, a problem statement should precisely describe the analysis. It should be precise enough that it actually leads to an obvious first step. As an example, I once had an executive ask me to figure out why sales are down. I hate that statement. It's not a problem statement. It's a complaint. Executives are very good at complaining. They're less good at forming problem statements. Where are sales down? Across the country, locally, or internationally? Are they down compared to what? Last year, last quarter, last month? And what do you mean by sales? Is it revenue? Is it number of units? Is it for a specific product, or is it across all products? A much better problem statement would be figure out why sales are down in X product by Y% versus last month in Z region of the country. That's very robust. Now I know exactly what my next steps are. Secondly, don't bother doing analyses which will not lead to an action. That's how you end up in analysis paralysis. For example, you might be working for a business who can't afford to hire more people. If you do an analysis to determine if your sales will increase if you hire more people, it's a bit of a useless analysis. You already know you can't do that. Instead, you could do an analysis on how to make your existing staff more productive. That would be related to the problem, and it could actually lead to action. Now, I can't stress this enough. If you take nothing else away from this video, please remember this. If at any point you are in your analysis you get stuck, go back to the problem you're looking to solve and let it be your guide. Now, the other added benefit of going through this problem step is that you can get everybody to agree to the same analysis up front. So when your boss's boss complains that this analysis wasn't really what they asked for, or wasn't really what they wanted, you can point to the fact that this is indeed what they asked for. Now, for the purposes of this series, I'm going to be using Facebook ads as my recurring example. Let's say I have a Facebook ad that drives users to a website. Once they're on the website, they can buy whatever it is I'm selling, something that I'm sure as sales and marketing professionals you can relate to. However, I know I'm spending a lot of money on ads, but I'm not sure of the return. So my complaint is I don't know whether I'm wasting my money on Facebook ads. But as we just covered, we need something better than that. Therefore, my problem statement is determine if the incremental sales generated from the Facebook ads I've run outweigh the cost of the ads themselves. This is a really good problem statement. It checks our 2 points from before. I know exactly what I'm going to get from the analysis, and it's going to lead to an action. It's nicely related to the problem, so perfect. If I had said something like, figure out if my Facebook ads are effective, that would be a bad problem because it's too vague. Effective at what? Is it effective at reaching people? Is it effective at driving people to a website? Similarly, if I had said something like, determine how much money the Facebook ads are making me, that's better, but it's still not right. It doesn't actually address the problem that I want to make sure the cost of the ads is less than the sales generated by the ads. Now, I've chosen a fairly straightforward example here to demonstrate, and yours might be more complex. So don't be afraid to spend some time in this stage. If you find yourself getting stuck in later stages of the analysis, go back and take a second look at your problem. It'll either guide you in the right direction, or you'll realize that maybe you weren't asking the right questions to start with. Now, your coffee's probably getting empty by now, so we're going to leave it there for now. In the next session, I'm going to walk through the question generation section. So make sure you click like if you like this video, click subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thanks very much, and I will see you then.